Good morning and welcome to Orca News. The headlines. President Klavinsky held groundbreaking ceremony at the start of the construction of the Picot International Airport project. Plebiscite on annexing Tudor to Sinamo City has been passed and agreed upon by the residents of Tudor. A Pride Month parade was held in Sinamo City. Hurricane Beryl is set to hit the Windward Islands in the Caribbean as a Category 4 storm. And fast-paced news that happened in the past 2 months. President Klavinsky held the groundbreaking ceremony of the airport project. President Klavinsky stated in his short speech that we will ensure the best to come as we open our nation to our fellow countries. Phase 1 of the airport project, or the bridge connecting mainland Picot City to the other land, is expected to be completed by August 2024, according to the Architecture and Infrastructure Department. A representative from the Landovian Axe Party criticizes the funds allocated for the airport project, which he deemed has been allegedly overfunded by the Transportation Department and the Architecture and Infrastructure Department. While the start of construction of the airport project is now at hand, the Transportation Department authorizes the use of a temporary unpaved airstrip over the expected runway for the military to use. Private and commercial use are not allowed to use the temporary airstrip. It was noted that the contractors for the Picot International Airport project are one British and one French construction companies. Congress approved the bill on annexing the municipality of Tudor to Sinamo City last May. President Klavinsky signed the bill, and the Elections Commission held a plebiscite in Tudor last June 15th. A total of 86 votes, 51 are in favor of annexing Tudor, while 35 are not. The proceedings have been granted in favor of annexation and will then enter a 3-month transition period. By September 15, 2024, Tudor will now be a duly recognized district under Sinamo City. Hurricane Beryl is set to hit the Windward Islands in the Caribbean as a Category 4 storm. More on the latest from our resident meteorologist and climatologist Chantel Powell. Chantel?
Thanks, Carson. Hurricane Beryl is now taking aim for the Windward Islands, with life-threatening winds and storm surge expected in the next few hours, according to the National Hurricane Center of the U.S. and the Landova Meteorological Agency. Hurricane Beryl was located 175 kilometers south-southeast of Barbados, with maximum sustained winds of 195 kilometers per hour. The hurricane slightly weakens as it enters its IWL replacement cycle, but can still regain strength as a Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane Beryl is expected to make a cross approach over the countries of Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines Islands. It is noted that Beryl is the only Category 4 storm ever recorded in the month of June, the earliest storm of such strength on record in the Atlantic Ocean. On the other hand, we have a newly formed tropical storm named Chris closing into Mexico. Tropical Storm Chris was located 120 kilometers southeast of Tuxpan, Mexico, with winds of 65 kilometers per hour. Chris is expected to weaken and will be a short-lived storm as it makes landfall and enters the landmass of Mexico. Both systems, Beryl and Chris, do not pose any threat in Landova. And here's our weather for today.
Members of the LGBTQ+ community held a Pride March yesterday in Prodocano, Sinamo City. The march kicked off ahead, attracting a diverse crowd in the area. Vice President Tyrus Bailey in the march expressed his advocacy for equality and acceptance of different backgrounds of gender and sexuality, promoting visibility and understanding throughout the nation. The vice president aims to inspire and motivate the community while urging society to embrace diversity and combat discrimination. He also stated that the government remains steadfast in its commitment to protecting LGBTQ+ rights and eliminating discrimination and violence against individuals. More news to come after the break. We will be right back. Here's our fast-paced news that has happened in the past 2 months. House Speaker Oliver Robinson maintains House speakership since the Fusion Party still holds control and a majority over the House of Representatives. President Klavinsky welcomed another term for House Speaker Robinson and was glad to have him in the legislature. The State Affairs Secretary has cut and has limited ties with Israel over acts of indiscriminate killings and genocide over the war in Gaza. The initiative comes with the inhumane handling of the government of Israel in response to the conflict. The department also noted that they've cut and limit ties with Palestine during the onslaught of the war last October. President Klavinsky was heavily concerned with the increased tensions between Russia and NATO over the war in Ukraine in its second year. The president acknowledges the initiation of the Presidential's Emergency Operations Council and Board National Control, the United States DEFCON level heightened to DEFCON 2. The President's Emergency Operations Council and Board National Control, or the POC-BNC, is a strategic emergency operations center controlled by the President, who acts as the Commander-in-Chief of the Landovian Armed Forces in accordance with the Landovian Constitution. The POC-BNC will only be initiated if DEFCON Level 2 has been raised by the United States Armed Forces and there is an impending danger or war happening. The POC-BNC will be headed by the President, the Vice President, the House Speaker, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of National Security and Integral Operations, and the Chief of Staff of the Landovian Armed Forces. The POC-BNC is an extraordinary control measure of safety and security in Landova for all people. Its primary purpose is to safeguard and protect all citizens, increase defense readiness, establish control measures, and prepare and execute extraordinary precautions to instill peace and stability in the country. The Picot City Council called for support from the National Congress to extend the jurisdiction of the city as soon as possible and establish the proposed Sprosk Bayside District to accommodate the construction of the airport project. Congress then approved the support to extend Picot City's jurisdiction as long as roads have been paved way over land until the council can define the territorial borders of the city. Vice President and business magnate Tyrus Bailey opens out that he is gay. President Klavinsky on X states that gender or sexuality has no prominent role in establishing competency in public service, linking that anyone regardless of sex or gender is eligible to serve the people. The president implies his statement regarding VP Bailey's opening out as gay Vice President Bailey sends a supportive message to the LGBTQ+ community in Pride Month. State Affairs Department issued travel restrictions to Haiti due to ongoing gang violence. The department imposed travel restrictions for all Landovians in the following countries: Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and Yemen. The department also issued an extreme caution travel advisory to Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. This is due to the ongoing escalating tensions between Israel and Iran. A powerful earthquake struck the whole country. The Landova Geological Sciences and Survey Agency recorded a magnitude 5.0 earthquake in Landova. The magnitude 5 earthquake was felt last April 23 at 12:05 p.m. The quake was located 8 kilometers east of Picot City with a depth of 7 kilometers. The quake was felt strongly nationwide. An intensity 6 strong shaking was felt in Picot City and Lubhert Village. Intensity 5 moderate shaking was felt in Shuttler, Plainsfield City, Commerce Valley Terraces Village, Old Massa Village, Flat Hills Village, Frost Lay Village, White Tone Village, Sonoma City, and Tudor. Reports of fallen debris and objects were witnessed in Picot City and Lubhert Village. Minor cracks and damages were seen in Lubhert Village. No injuries or casualties were reported. The Landova Meteorological Agency confirms the sighting of Aurora Borealis in Landova last May 11th. The sighting of Aurora Borealis came from the series of solar storms that occurred from May 10th to 13, 2024. Geomagnetic storm was the most powerful to affect Earth and the highest level in the G scale of NOAA, which was at G5 or extreme geomagnetic storm. Multiple solar flares and coronal mass ejections were launched from the Sun toward Earth. As a result of this phenomenon, aurorae were seen across the world in most high-latitude countries, especially in places where aurora sightings are rare. The Aurora Borealis spans over the northern hemisphere, reaching south to Jamaica, Bahamas, Hawaii, the Canary Islands, in northern India. The aurora in Australis, the counterpart in the southern hemisphere, has also been witnessed as far north as in South Africa, New Caledonia, and southern Brazil. The Landova Meteorological Agency announced that the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season began last June 1st. The agency expects 2 to 5 tropical cyclones that may directly impact Landova this hurricane season. The agency noted that 3 tropical cyclones directly impacted the country last year. These were Hurricane Dawn, Hurricane Franklin, and Hurricane Nigel. Congress reintroduced a bill on legalizing same-sex marriage, but the bill has been rejected twice by the House of Representatives. Most congressmen came from mixed perspectives and stands when it comes to homosexuality. President Klavinsky was indifferent to U.S. President Biden's remarks on the arrest warrant of Israel PM Netanyahu and Hamas leader Sinwar from the International Criminal Court. President Biden, on the other hand, stated outrageous and what's happening in Gaza is not genocide. State Affairs Department with the Justice Department reported that former U.S. President Donald Trump is banned from entering Landova due to being convicted of several counts of felony. This is in accordance with the immigration law of Landova that forbids the entry of any convicted person inside the country. The departments, however, will give special consideration if Trump is re-elected President of the United States in November. Vice President Bailey will attend the 2024 Paris Olympics in July. Landova has not represented any Olympiad delegations to the Olympics. President Klavinsky in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics wished that the country would play in the Olympics and present the Landovian spirit in the Games. On April 8, 2024, a total solar eclipse came to North America. All of North America and Central America experienced a partial solar eclipse, but only those within the path of totality were able to see the moon entirely cover the sun's disk, according to Landova Meteorological Agency. The whole country witnessed the solar eclipse starting from 5:54 in the afternoon until its sunset at 7:39. The maximum eclipse, which the deepest point of the eclipse, with the sun in its most hidden, occurred at 6:52 p.m. close to the horizon. The agency clarified that the country did not experience a total solar eclipse because there was still part of the sun that was not fully covered by the new moon, yet still saw significant dimming of the surroundings. A solar eclipse occurs when a new moon is positioned precisely between Earth and the sun and casts its shadow on Earth. It happens when the moon appears the same size in the sky as the sun, or slightly larger, so fully covers the disk of the sun, giving observers a view of the sun's outer atmosphere, the corona. Landova will witness another solar eclipse on March 29, 2025. And that's it for today's news. This is Carson Elgers, reporting for Orca News. Good morning, everyone.